Good morning and welcome to the Gardens and Graveyards channel. My name is Charisma and today we're meeting in the garden and we're going to do a little update on some fall and winter projects that we did. And we did some cuttings and divisions and winter sowing and mostly in water jugs or milk jugs. It's time to clean those up and see what survived the winter, because I really do a total hands-off approach after I've, initially seeded the jugs or put the cuttings in soil. I water them a couple of times and then they're just left on their own for a while. So I'm gonna, and then I have just a few plants that I need to get planted, a couple in the medicine garden and a few in a container for my patio. So we're gonna be here in the medicine garden. That's the table that Spencer built me this fall that we kept all of our cuttings on. And then I have all of my winter sowing jugs that were from up here. They lived right there up on the patio all winter. So let me show you what we have and the setup and what we're going to do. So I've got a wheelbarrow full of everything. I've got potting soil and empty containers and plant tone. I've got a couple of herbs. This is a marshmallow and an echinacea that I want to get out into the herb garden today. And I've got some more empty containers. A couple have soil in them ready to go. Oops. And then this is our table full of cuttings that we took last fall. Let me start here on the bottom. So we've got 4 planters with sumacs in them. They all have a little bit of growth. Some a little further along than others. This one, even though it's still holding on to its winter dead leaves, it's got new growth right here. So, yeah, I might divide these two that have, like this one's dead, but this one, this is part of this one. Okay, whatever. Anyways, these, like, divide this one and divide this one and put them in separate pots so that they could go to different homes. I've got some roses in here. I've got comfrey in here. I've got hydrangea. Pretty much everything looks good except for that pot right there. But I do see a little piece of comfrey right in the back of the pot. So maybe everything down here survived. And then up here, it's a little worse for wear. This was sage. That didn't make it. Maybe, this one feels like it might have made it. This one didn't. So out of 6, that's sage. This is purple sage. I got 1 purple sage out of 5. None of the Edgeworthia cuttings. I don't think any of those made it. Strangely, these Rose Campium did not make it, but those in the back that were a little bit more protected did. I've got tons of Egyptian walking onions. I got 1 Artemisia out of 4. I don't think any of the golden oregano made it. I got some more Artemisia in here. One of 4 of these containers grew the lady's mantle. More walking onion. I've got some chives that did good. More comfrey that did fine. It looks like my roses did not make it here. This one might have. It feels a little strong. We'll have to check it out. Anyways, there's empty pots and stuff in there that I want to clean out and clean up and get ready to give away or replant into the garden as needed. And then over here, so I've got a container full of like junk that we can throw in there. I've got an empty container in here that I could put the spent soil that we could repurpose. And then I've got all of the winter sowing jugs, which have a lot of plants in them, and we need to put them probably in 6-packs or in 4-inch containers. So we'll see what happens there. Some of them might just go right into the garden. I'm not sure. I did have a rose or 2 make it up on the patio, so that's kind of exciting. That we'll transplant into a bigger container. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is get through all of these and determine what's alive and what isn't. These are empty containers. These ones I'm going to divide. I'm just going to put all of this soil that didn't end up getting used for roots or anything into the bottom of this decorative container that we're going to pot up later. And I'll just take out the dead plant material and put it in a different container. Can save the tags, wash them, and relabel. Looks like maybe this one survived, so I'll keep that here. Nope. Oh, I didn't make it. This one didn't make it. Maybe. Those can just get cleaned up. All right, let's get to cleaning up all of these things. Some of them don't need much. This one looks fantastic. I could just leave it alone. Just go back on the table for now. This one needs to be babied along, but I have a lot of this. My thought was I was gonna divide these to, or make cuttings from them to give away. So I don't even know how necessary it is for me to baby this one, but I'll give it some water. If it starts growing in the sun, might give it to a neighbor or something. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do to get some space available is I'm gonna divide these sumacs. One is pretty small, so I'm just gonna use a small container, fill it with potting soil. All right, and I'm gonna carefully remove this guy out of there. Okay, well, you could see the roots that grew on there. Some of these came out of the ground with some roots, and some of them were just cuttings, so I'm not sure which ones were which, but it's exciting that it has roots. All right, And go ahead and take these old leaves off. Just all right. One down. And this one is fine as it is. Okay. This one. Again, just carefully try to remove this guy. There. Now those are done. I ended up with 14 rose campiums, 1 lady's mantle, and 1 artemisia so far. I haven't watered these at all. I think I watered them 2, maybe 3 times in the fall. For sure when I planted them. Maybe like a week later, and then right before we went on vacation in October. And that was it. We haven't watered them since then. So the ones that got rain and moisture from the air, that's what they got. The ones that didn't. All right, so I'm just gonna limp these guys along in the sunshine somewhere. The next thing I want to try, I did get these cuttings off of a cut rose that a customer brought us that smelled so delicious, and it's a discontinued David Austin. It is the Jude the Obscure, and so I wanted to see if I can make them grow. I got one did not take, maybe 2 did, or maybe that's off of the same one. We're going to gently remove them and put them in better soil or a bigger pot. This is a rose from my neighbor who has this beautiful rose, and we tried some cuttings this fall. I'm not seeing any growth on it, but again, I'm not positive that it won't grow because it hasn't been in sunshine. So I'm gonna carefully see if there's any roots, and if there is, I'll put it in some fresh soil with some plant tone. Ideally I'd have rose tone, but I forgot to grab that. So just gonna put some plant tone in there. All right, so I'm not really seeing any roots on there. Nope, that's not it. I just don't think so. Nope. I do have confidence in these because we actually got some green growth. And we've got roots coming out of the bottom too. So we're just gonna carefully pull it out like this. As careful as I can. So you can see this one did not take. But this one's got a good little root system on it. It is actually one root. Or I mean one plant. So we'll just plant this in here. All right, there we have it. And this will go in some sunshine too. We'll probably just put it right out by the rose garden. These we're just gonna clean up the leaves. So we're just gonna, don't always pull up that good. I'm just gonna cut off the old icky leaves. So the next ones that I'm gonna work on are these Egyptian walking onions. You could see they're very leggy and flopped over. So I'm gonna put them in deeper containers in hopes that they, you know, look a little better to give away. My chives all look really fantastic, so I don't have to do anything with that. I just did a little tiny bit of cleanup on them and they're good to go. But these ones I wanna put in some deeper pots. So I'm just gonna have pots like this, fill it with potting soil, and transplant them. To give you a better idea of what I'm doing, I'm going to just step the process along here with you. I've got potting soil in here, raised bed potting mix that I'm using. So I filled this 1 gallon container just a little over halfway full. This is in a 4-inch. You could see all the roots coming out. I'm just carefully pulling those roots through, not breaking them. They're so loose, I'm not gonna break them and pull them apart. I'm just gonna set them in here. The idea is I want as many of these stalks going upright as I can. So I might have to tip the crown a little bit so that the stalks are standing up, so that it kind of looks like this inside. See how the crown is up here and down there. Then I'm just gonna take potting soil and fill in around the crown. And that's what I've been doing on all of these. So half the soil, pull this out, set it in there like this. Fill in around like this. Okay, it looks like the last of our fall cuttings is this Artemisia, and this was a production box that a master gardener made for me, and it has sand in it, and we just took cuttings of the Artemisia and dipped them in root hormone and popped them in the sand. So I don't remember how many cuttings were in here, but we have 7 viable cuttings. So all I'm going to do is slip them out of the sand. It'd be better if I had like a spoon because it's small in there, but it's fine. And then I'm just gonna, this might be small enough. Let's see, go all like that. Yeah, I might want to fill these all the way up and just stick a hole. So Let me finish filling. I put them halfway because I thought I would be burying them, but I think I'll just fill these up. Okay, so now I have a full 4-inch container. I'm just gonna stick my finger all the way down, creating a hole, if you could see that. Then I take my Artemisia with its little roots and stick it all the way in there and pack the soil down around it. Some of these may need to be cleaned up a little bit. Okay. Just take off any little kind of dead looking pieces, and we'll so simple and easy. We'll just get all of these done, and then we'll go over what we accomplished. One more interesting situation we have here is we rooted these roses in pure perlite, so I need to get them in some soil. They're clearly growing, but they'll do better in soil. Let's see all the Okay, so we've got the fall cuttings all repotted, cleaned up. I will do another once over cleaning with like a soapy wet rag before I give them away, so they're like in really clean pots, but all new, clean, fresh soil, and all the dead leaves have been cleaned off. We still need to water them in, but I want to do that after we're done with the winter sowing portion of this project. But I'm going to turn the camera around and show you what we ended up with after everything got cleaned up and repotted. Okay, so here we have basically 2 flats of 4-inch containers. I've got 6 garlic chives, 8 artemisia, 3, 6, 9, 12, 14 rose campium, and 1 lady's mantle. Then down here, so we ended up with 5 sumacs, 2 hydrangeas, 3 roses, 7 comfreys, and over here, still on the table, I've got 6 1-gallon of Egyptian walking onions. I ended up keeping a little stash over here for myself. I've got 1 sumac. Clearly, I didn't clean up the pot or do anything with it. It's growing so strange and crazy that it would be really difficult to try to sell or give away or fit in your car. And I think I would like to have one over by our creek. And I know that they will spread by rhizomes. That's how I got all of these. So if I want a bigger patch, I just have to wait a year. I kept one hydrangea for myself and another one. This hydrangea was in the pot with all the other ones, propagating in perlite. It is a little bit green. I'm pretty sure it's alive. The root system was intense on it. So I think it just needs some sunshine, because this one was in the back of the pot that was up on that table and in the back in the shade. So I'm giving it a chance. So I'm going to hang on to those. Those would also go by our creek if they take and survive. And then I've got 3 roses myself. There's actually 2 in this one and 1 in this one that are going out by the creek. Then up on this little area, this is a dahlia that got pre-planted. This is the, what is it? Jude the Obscure David Austin Rose. It's a little bit wilted. I've got to get some water on here. This is a Edgeworthia that I'm trying to see if it'll take. I just don't know. It looked like it had a little bit of root, but I couldn't tell if it was roots or not. These are heuchera divisions that just need some water and sunshine. And then this is a purple sage that's tiny, tiny, tiny and not worth giving away, but I'm going to, you know, baby it along and see if I might pop it in somewhere. And then these are more Egyptian walking onions. It was the biggest pot that I had the most in, and it's a little unruly, but I have my patch right there. And on the back side of it, well, let's see. I have a patch here. I have an echinacea. I think that's an echinacea back there. But I feel like I could pop some more of these right in the back of that oregano. So I'm going to kind of, I don't know, stick them somewhere. And I've got more comfrey right here that I could dig up and give away. Oh. Now we need to open up all these jugs and see how well the seeds did. You can see this one clearly has plants in it. It's trying to come out the top. This one, it's really nice to be all clear. You can totally see all the plants in there. But when you peek inside, you could see some seedlings in the other ones as well. So we're going to get them opened up and separated out and planted into 6-packs or 4-inch containers. All right, let's open these up together. The first one we're going to open up is phlox, and it looks like I planted these seeds in September. Is that true? I guess. It's 9/18. Slimy. Well, there's plants in there anyway, so that's exciting. Not very big for being planted that long ago. Okay. This is angel wing mix, also planted in September. Okay, well, there we go. I knew that one would do well. Angel wing mix. Okay. And then, oh, okay, this is pumpkin on a stick. Also from September. Nothing. That didn't work. This is amaranth. Amaranth. And this was planted in September. Which this never looked like it was going to be very promising. I've never been able to get amaranth to grow. I've planted it in all kinds of ways. Nothing. Okay, let's get these September ones done first into some containers, and then we'll do the Januaries. I think I'm actually going to plant my angel wing mix, the whole thing, in this container right over here. So we're going to wait a minute on that. These phlox, I want to give a chance to grow up a little bit more, so we will plant these up in some 6-packs. So we ended up with 29 little seedlings of phlox. I believe this is the cherry caramel from Floret. I will double check, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I'm only growing one type of phlox from seed this year, so I'm pretty sure that's it. Some of them were so tiny that I just put them in this container together. I don't know. But these ones looked pretty good. One per cell. And they've got, you know, 2 sets of leaves. Every one of them does. So promising. All right, let's open up the January containers. These are from January 29th. These are a Snapdragon mix. Ta-da! Yay! There's a lot in there. And this is a white foxglove alba. Okay, these white or these clear containers really hold on to the duct tape. Whereas I guess the milk jugs are probably a little bit textured. Oh, so they don't hold on as tight. Ha. All right, so these are the foxgloves. And there's a whole bunch of tiny ones. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10, 11, 12, maybe a dozen, maybe a little bit more than a dozen little guys in there. It was just a trial. I know these work great if you just sow them directly in the ground, but I just wanted to see if growing them in wintertime would give them a little bit of a head start. I don't think it does, because I have self-seeded foxgloves up right now, and they're like little florets of 4 or 5 inch plants already. I'm really excited that this worked. This is honeywort, also from January 29th. Are you ready? Ta-da! So this is pretty exciting. I've been wanting this plant in my garden for a while. So I am happy that they are this happy. I just have to decide on where I'm planting them now. Okay, let's get these planted up and move forward. So you may remember that I have multiple ranunculus in here. It looks like only 2 survived. They got planted and then we had snow. So, oops. Anyway, this one looks like it's going to be a peachy, orangey maybe color. I have no idea what color this one is. And so, since this is a Snapdragon mix, we're just going to go ahead and pop them in all over this container and let them go crazy. Ended up putting a ring around the outside and a ring around the inside and a couple, maybe like 4 right there. And we still have quite a few left, so I think I'm gonna plant them with the angel wing mix in a container on my porch. But while we're down here in the medicine garden, I'm gonna go ahead and plant this echinacea right here. This is a Proven Winners double coated raspberry beret echinacea. It's a perennial. It's pink. It wants full sun. It gets full sun to part sun. It gets 18 to 20 inches tall, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So I can't wait to get that in the ground. I have echinacea up on that tier and one across the way. I think that the echinaceas really bring a lot of color to the medicine garden, where there's a lot of texture here because there's a lot of strappy leaves and curly leaves and fuzzy leaves and blue leaves and green leaves, but there's not a whole lot of flower in an herb garden, because once they start to flower, then the plant is sending energy to the flower instead of the medicine, or you harvest the flower for medicine. So it just doesn't stay super colorful. So I think having some echinacea pieces out here will just elevate the whole environment of the medicine garden. All right, so the last thing that we have left to do today is plant our container with annuals. They are looking worse for wear because they are so ready to be out of their little tiny containers. So I have a Lady Godiva orange calendula, a Proven Winners Super Bells tangerine punch, calibrachoa. Aren't those going to be cool together? And then a Proven Winners double up red begonia. There's no flower on there right now, but it's got a red flower. Oh, cool. And then another begonia. So we're just gonna get all of those in there together. a little plant tone, slow release fertilizer. They're staying way too wet in their container. Just gonna clean them up a little bit. It's pretty much just ready to go in. And I've got some finished compost here we're going to top dress everything with. Okay, so the Lady Godiva is, all of these are fold apart sun, and the Lady Godiva gets about 16 inches tall, and then the Super Bells will trail. They get like 6 to 12 inches tall. So this will be the back, this will be the front, and then the begonias on the sides. Let's do this. I get 18 inches tall, 8 to 18 inches tall. So it should be a nice big bushy red and golden color, and then the trailing Super Bells that has all the colors in it. Fun. Another feature about Proven Winners annuals that I really love is none of them require deadheading. You can deadhead them, but they don't require it for rebloom, which is amazing. Okay, so let me show you everything that we got done, and then we'll plant up just the rest of these little seedlings. Take our stuff upstairs and finish that up, and then that will be the end for this video. It started pouring down rain at one point, so there was a couple of things that I planted that didn't get filmed because I thought we were gonna have a thunderstorm. It was like warm, freezing cold, pouring down rain, and now it's warm again. Spring is crazy in Oregon. As a reminder, we do live on the Oregon coast in a zone 9A, and this is the first week of May, and we are getting the garden all set up and ready for summer. So let me show you what we did today, and yeah, let's just check it out. Okay, so we just planted up all of these Proven Winner annuals, and they are going to go upstairs on my deck. These are the seedlings, not the Snapdragon, that's trash. The Angel Wing mix, and these Snapdragons are going to go up on the deck in a different container. That is an extra Super Tunia honey for our baskets upstairs in case they fail. They were in that clump, so anyway. But everything else is just like going back into the garage. It's all done. This is what we got all transplanted and cleaned up for giveaway plants. Here's my own personal little stash. These will probably end up on the table upstairs until I'm ready to plant them somewhere. And then, of course, the walking Egyptian onions. Okay, so then over here we added in 2 rings of mixed Snapdragons, a bunch of different colors. I did pull up that comfrey and put it over there. And then we did put this double coated raspberry beret echinacea from Proven Winners right here. We have an echinacea right back there and right over there. So it'll create sort of a little trio. All right, let's head upstairs and see what else we did. And I ended up putting the honeywort in this wooden barrel here. We added more potting soil and compost and plant tone, and then we put these little seedlings in. And then down the way, this container, I ended up adding this marshmallow right here. This is lemon balm and this is lemongrass. And the marshmallow will get 4 foot by 2.5 foot. So it'll really fill in the back side of this and get tall. And it's just a nice addition to have it in my medicine garden. It wants full sun and moist soil. So this is full baking sun, and I'll be able to just keep it moist in a pot more so than I would in the ground in a really sandy soil. All right, let's go put this annual container up on the porch. So the last thing that we're gonna do is plant up this pot right here. I'm going to put a Proven Winners Bright Lights Horizon Sunset osteospermum in the middle, and then surround it with the angel wing mix that seeds that came up. That's gonna do it for today's video. Thanks a lot for hanging out with me while we updated you on all of our winter sowing and our fall cuttings and transplants and getting some annuals in some containers this morning. Feels really good. It feels very much like spring. Some of our Wednesday videos will kind of be this type of thing for a little bit because, you know, as we go into spring, we have less time for fun, cutesy kinds of projects and more time to really get in the garden and make an impact and, you know, button up some things so that we can enjoy our summers. Until the next time, keep celebrating your life, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.